Hey there and welcome to another episode of Seenu. This time around, as I'm sure you can guess from the title of the video and the thumbnail, we're going to be working on our first harbor. And this is going to be kind of, the main harbor from this whole project. We're going to have multiple ones, I mentioned that before, but if my calculations are correct, this is the only one that's actually going to have cargo. And I guess time will tell whether or not we can pull that off. Basically, it really doesn't depend on me. It really depends on how the game behaves, given the fact that we don't have any roads connecting. So the only, all these industries, the only way that they can get resources and export resources is through, or will be through this port. So hopefully this is the only one we will need for that, but I guess time will tell. In the meantime, let me just tell you a little bit about, sort of the features of this construction. So in the real life harbor, it's actually located in a very approximate location to, to the scale of the map that I'm working on right here. And it extends out past the coral reef so that you can get bigger ships to dock in this port, simply because, well, there's just deeper waters. If you're too close to the shoreline, the sand, the whole area is very, very shallow. So it's likely that that ships will get stuck. And I decided to sort of keep that design, even though Cities Skylines doesn't really care about, the depth of the water. But in order to make it a bit more realistic, I decided to extend that little platform, that little jetty. And it's basically one straight road that goes in the middle of the inner lagoon. And just right now here, I'm doing all sorts of terraforming, trying to get it right. Because it's not huge. It's really, small. But there is quite a bit of detail we're going to be adding to this construction. And I'm going to let you enjoy the time lapse because I actually have a couple topics that I wanted to talk about during this episode as well. This is going to be, I guess, a semi-short time lapse, but hopefully I can fit all these topics and also talk a little bit about what I'm doing on the screen. So the first thing that I want to bring up is a comment that was pretty recurrent in the previous episode, which was related to the fact that as I was plopping down all of these roads, I was manually deleting all the trees. So just so you know, I know that there's property anarchy. I can turn that off. And when I drag a road, it will automatically hide the trees. But that is actually the problem. I don't want to hide the trees. I want the trees gone because the tree count is still exists underneath if you drag a road over them, which means that that limits the number of props that I can use everywhere else on the map. In this case, for Seenu, I guess it doesn't really matter all that much, simply because, most of the area of the map is water, where I'm not going to put a whole lot of trees. I guess it's just force of habit based on previous projects like Cedar Valley or Arrowhead Junction, where we have to keep an eye on tree counts. But that's why I do it. I manually remove the trees so that I know they're not just hidden and they're really, really gone. Now, I want to go back to the time-lapse real quick for just a second. And I want to point your attention to those concrete blocks, those two concrete blocks that I'm putting on each side there. So that is an asset that I was working on during this week. This is one of the reasons why this video didn't come out on time, because it was kind of a crazy week, but at the same time I really wanted to get this asset done on my own. And basically those concrete blocks are cargo harbors that connect to the ship path and basically allow cargo ships to spawn and bring goods and export goods from our project or from our city, I guess, to the outside world. And what I'm trying to do here is to sort of hide them underneath the breakwater, so you just saw a second ago, and that way we have like a seamless sort of port. I really don't want to use the vanilla ones because they are just like way over the top. They have all these like ugly props, plus the cranes that are like too busy for the type of build that I'm going for. So we'll get to that in detail in the real-time section, where I'm actually going to show you how I put down some of these harbors, but in case you were wondering, that's what they are, and that's what they look like. All right, so this is another important part, this time lapse. These rocks that I'm putting on the side of the entrance road. These are vanilla assets, actually. If you use Find It, you can find them with, I think I just searched Pile, and these came out with the Natural Disasters update. You can still find them in your game if you didn't buy the DLC, because they're part of the vanilla assets now. But it's cool because there's these are tiny rocks that would appear if like an earthquake hits your city or whatever. But you can actually use more beautification to just plop them wherever you want. And in this case, I tried to, I don't know if you remember when I did Cedar Valley, my previous project, I added some of the bigger rocks on some of my shorelines to mimic like a breakwater type jetty. And those looked okay, but I think I needed like more detail than that. So I figured these rocks would be the next best thing. However, there are a few issues with the rocks that I'm going to go into detail again in the time lapse, in the real time part of this video. Because in some cases they kind of look like they're floating above the water, so I'm still trying to figure out how to make some rocks like that on my own. But if you are an asset creator and you're watching this video, please do let me know, because I would really need your help getting a nice, decent rock asset that would hopefully conform to the ground and that we can use multiple times. Needless to say, this types of rocks are really try count heavy. They drop like 10 frames of my average frame rate, even though it's in the middle of the water. So I'm only getting like 35, 40 frames per second. So it's not terrible, but it's definitely not like very well optimized for what I'm using it for. In any case, they do look pretty amazing, aside from a few, little quirks and things that they have, but I'm happy with how it looks, so that's why I kept them for the rest of this episode. Hopefully we can upgrade them soon, and if not, they still look pretty good to me, so I guess time will tell. What else? All right, so next on my list is another comment it wasn't as as popular as the one talking about why delete the trees manually, but a few people pointed out that I'm using the wrong kind of palm trees, because those are like desert palm trees and not like tropical palm trees. And you guys are right, that is true. However, the reason why I picked those palm trees is because they were the only ones that actually look nice when you look at, the LODs look nice when you zoom out. And they were a nice contrast between the darker trees that I'm using for pretty much the rest of the islands as as the main type of foliage. And just like it was definitely a contrast issue. That's why I picked them. But you're right, it doesn't belong, and I'm slowly gonna replace some of them. I do like how it looks, so I'm not gonna completely get rid of it. But I mean, Mr. Mason just came out with some coconut trees that absolutely look fantastic. You see me add them in just a few moments here, so stay tuned for that. I highly recommend you check them out. As usual, Mr. Mason is putting out some insane content, and hopefully he can put out more tropical content, because I keep to use that. So another thing that I added is the abandon mod, which basically prevents buildings from becoming abandoned. The little house that we put in the power station in the previous episode basically became abandoned. So I had to plop it like 5 times because it kept going abandoned multiple times as I was plopping all these things. And even that factory on the side that I'm using as as one of these building facilities for the harbor actually became abandoned too, so I had to replace that a couple times. And every time you do that, you have to plop things around it. Like if you're using the concrete brush, all those things, sometimes it gets deleted, so it's kind of a pain. It's better for buildings to never go abandoned, so I'm gonna use that from now on, just so you know. And if you're going for like full like sandboxy detail type things, I encourage you to get that mod as well, because it will save you some time. And finally, the last thing that I have written down here on my list is the immense support that I've gotten from the community. And I don't know if you remember, but in the previous episode I mentioned that I had some custom requests for assets, and I've gotten an overwhelming amount of people offering their time to put together assets for Seenu. So I'm just gonna highlight a few things that are coming soon, and when the time comes, I'm obviously gonna highlight the authors themselves. But there's gonna be some custom boats, floating boats that are coming. Some of them are already out there. I haven't had time to actually test them for this episode because it was so last minute. But those are coming. Some seaplanes are coming. Some turboprop planes are coming. Water tanks are coming. Mosques are coming. I mean, there's so much custom content that you're going to be able to use in your cities too. I specifically asked some of these asset creators to keep this assets generic enough that they would fit in other people's cities. So even if you're not building this tropical paradise like I am, you would hopefully be able to take advantage of those assets as well. And man, I want to thank everyone who's already working on stuff. I really can't wait to highlight them as soon as I can. And it's just going to be amazing. Seenu is already coming up so good. It's by far one of my best projects in my channel. It was very ambitious, and I can't believe we're pulling it off. So yes, I'm so excited. All right, so coming back to the time lapse, and this whole area in real life, the port doesn't have a whole lot of props lying around. Containers in real life. These wouldn't be props. They're not just staging like harbor operations. These are real. So I know that some of these things, in Cities Skylines, if you don't really go a little bit over detail in certain areas, it doesn't look very realistic. So the truth is, I wanted to keep things super simple. So I went for very few containers, because that's how many they usually have in the real life version of this. Again, I'm not trying to copy it one-to-one, but I do want to sort of keep the spirit of the original one. So all I'm doing here is using Avania's amazing containers, which she did a really great job with these assets. So I highly recommend. These are by far my favorite containers in the workshop right now. Well, even this water pump that I just put down, she made that a while ago, and it's just so perfect for this project and for that specific location. So thank you for that. But I wanted to use her containers, and they're very desaturated, and they don't really call your attention so much like the vanilla ones do, for example. Those of you who have been following my videos for quite some time know that I'm not very fond, I guess, of the vanilla containers. They're so bright and shiny. They're pretty much unrealistic, I guess. It's why I don't like them. And obviously, in terms of size, they're also their size is a little bit off as well. So. But in any case, at first I was struggling quite a bit trying to detail this area because it's literally mostly a concrete block in real life. So the best way to actually get this to look kind of, or better is using decals. And oh man, I went to town with decals. Especially, there's some new decals that hit the workshop. You're gonna see me talk about those in the real-time portion of this video as well. But man, it's what a time to be alive. What a time to play Cities Skylines. I mean, holy crap. The game has... I know I say this every 2 weeks. I sound so cliche at this point, but the game is getting better and better by the day. And I just can't imagine how this would look just a few months from now even. Especially after we have all these custom assets for Seenu. It's just gonna be amazing. Really, really can't wait. Another thing that I was trying to add here is a few parking lots. I really wanted to avoid the usual type of parking lots that I do, especially for example in Arrowhead Junction. It's just parking spot galore, and this island there are not that many cars or trucks, so it really doesn't make a whole lot of sense to have a ton of parking lot. A little bit of parking lot it's okay, but really going crazy with parking lots may not be the best idea here. So I try to keep it really, really simple. I still need to figure out a way to have cars avoid parking on the road. So I don't know if you can notice, but there's some like concrete roads that go in between the different buildings. And later on, when I start the simulation, you're going to see that cars are parking there, which really, really grinds my gears. I really wish that there's a way to disable that. Obviously, if I change the road type to like the 1-lane, 2-way road, cars won't spawn there or won't park there, I guess. But it's really annoying that they do park on the concrete roads. It doesn't look so bad. I mean, you're gonna see some cars parked during the cinematics and all that, but it's not terribly, you know, offsetting, I guess. But it sucks. I wish Traffic Manager would have an option to like turn off parking or something like that. That would be amazing. But in any case, all that I'm doing here is just adding a few props. And this is usually something that I try to do. I might have mentioned this before, maybe sound like a broken record at this point, but I do forget a lot of the things that I say, by the way. So if you see me repeating the same things over and over again, yeah, that's probably why. But I mean, there's always new viewers, right? So I guess this will be new information for a lot of people. What I was trying to say though is that I tend to put the props and the smaller items first before you go crazy with the details, with the decals, because decals have a much larger footprint, and if you want to change something, when you select the bulldozer tool, it just selects the decals almost by default, which means that you have to get rid of all of your big decals first, and then you're able to delete the props individually, which is sometimes is kind of a pain. So, I recommend you do all your prop action first, get everything that's tiny in place, and then, then you can add all the decals you want. I wish that the decals would also work on the breakwaters. They don't, but it would have been so amazing if I was able to sort of extend some decal action to the breakwaters. They do have a pretty amazing texture, so, I mean, they do look quite alright to me, and I decided to sort of leave them that way. I did add a few props on them, like the life buoys and some crates you're going to see me add later on. But for the most part, this concrete block that was just empty there, I think it came out great. After adding some of these new concrete expansion joints, decals, it was amazing. And I know there's other asset creators working on more versions of this too, so I can't wait to try those out. Again, the game is getting better and better. It's just a matter of time before we actually have so many realistic cities that we won't be able to tell them apart from real life. But yeah, we'll take it one step at a time. But we're approaching the end of this time lapse now, so I'm gonna leave you with a few seconds of amazing music, and we'll return in just a moment. Alright, now for the final segment of this video, just wanted to do a few things on camera in real time, because, they're probably, worth noting, and I don't really want to, just speed through them, because you might actually be able to use it for your own creations. But let me first give you a quick tour of what we just built, because I know the time-lapse sometimes happens like really, really fast, and you can't miss a few details of what's going on. So as you can see here, I went to town with these decals. I mean, we have so many decals sort of making this whole area, and I just love how everything looks, especially this expansion lines for the concrete just like literally seal this for me. Like it was like, yeah, I added that, and everything came together so much nicer. Together with the cracks. The cracks are the second biggest amazing thing here. And third, and obviously this being, just by the shoreline and in a tropical setting where it rains a lot, I mean, we're going to have a ton of these like wet, just pools of water throughout. These decals look amazing here. And even over on this corner as well, just try to put a few. Also try not to overdo it. But in real life, this whole area of the map was pretty empty. So I needed to overdo it a little bit because it really doesn't look great in City Skylines if you don't, if you're trying to go for realism and, exactly add the elements that exist there. Sometimes they just don't look great because you see, in real life, this concrete is not just a texture and that's it. There are like small little details. However, we can't, add so, or can't fine tune details so much. So cracked decals are all we have. And, I mean, that's enough for me. That looks pretty nice. So, together or coupled, I guess, with a couple of containers and different configurations. Obviously, we don't have any cranes or anything like that. I mean, this is not a huge harbor. This is like pretty simple. And, this is some like temporary cargo that they're trying to get into trucks that are maybe not even here yet. But I don't know. I think it looks pretty good. And as you can see, we have some trucks kind of driving around. And I built like a support city in the back. We're going to totally get rid of that. I'm not going to even show it to you, but it has the basics. It has a firehouse, the incinerator, sewage treatment plant, and a few other things. This is our water plant, by the way. This one right here is pumping the water from this area towards the city and everywhere else. So I really like how that came out. And I mean, this is, again, pretty simple. Now, the key thing here are these rocks. I mean, I'm sure you saw me or you heard me talk quite a bit during the time lapse. I haven't recorded that at the time of this recording, this specific recording, but they do look nice. I don't absolutely love how they look. I think we can get better assets for this if someone is willing to put some time into it. I'm gonna give it a shot, but it might take a while, and I don't think I'm good enough to do this kind of thing. But this will do for now, especially if you look at it from this angle. It just looks nicer. But when you get closer, you can start seeing the gaps and this rock's kind of floating around. I wish that, these rocks or this pile of rubble would conform better to the terrain. But it's, unfortunately, it's not the case. So, yeah, whatever. It just still looks pretty good, especially if you zoom out. I mean, there's still like quite a bit of noise here that just sort of brings this this sort of jetty together, which is, kind of what I was aiming for. So let's actually start building a few things. So on this sort of pier here, I added, or I created this custom assets. Are they're pretty much still, in working progress, I guess is what I'm trying to say. So you can see it's just a block of concrete with like a really low res texture, because I didn't even put time to like properly texture this. But the whole point of this is that you can grab this. So this is a passenger that's even misspelled there, so don't mind that. Still testing. But I want to place this somewhere around here. So like maybe, as far back as I can. Something like that. And I want to move it. And I'm going to bring this down just slightly so that it hits underneath all of this. So now this breakwater becomes a passenger terminal. So I'm going to speed the simulation up, and in a little while you're going to start seeing some boats using this, which it's pretty great. We can finally get passengers onto our island. And here comes the first vessel carrying passengers into our brand new passenger docking station thing. There are a few issues with this. I mean, it works and it looks better than obviously the vanilla ones, but as you can see, the gap between the platform and the boat, and hopefully we'll be seeing some people exiting, or maybe not. Come on. There we go. All right. Yeah. So there is some like underlying structure to this asset that makes first of all, there's like an area for ships to sort of park, and then there's like a line that connects inland to the spawn point for the people who just boarded or unboarded, offboarded, unloaded the vessel. You know what I mean. So let me show you, because I think it will be easier to see what I'm saying. If I select nodes and segments and move it, I can simply select this. Actually, I can go this. And this is sort of the area that's hidden where ships will spawn. They will come on one of these paths. They will, park parallel to the platform, and then they will exit on the other side. And this is sort of what connects to the shipping path that you can't see now because it's all invisible, but here it is. Now, you might be wondering, well, I can use move it to like get this closer to to the shoreline and hopefully get the ships to spawn that way. I tried that. You can indeed get a little bit closer by doing this, but if you get close enough, there's another segment here that's invisible. It's not even visible on using move it. That is where passengers will switch from the ship towards the land. And if you get this path too close to that, then this whole thing is bugged and you have to pull up a new one, basically. So I'm struggling with that. And you can see if you plop the vanilla one, the distance between, I'm just going to pop it here, I don't care. The distance between the street where the span point is and the, the platform where boats are, sitting, it's definitely right next to it. So if I do this, you can see that the parking spot, I guess we'll call it, it's very close to this platform, but that is because this thing is huge. It's like, I don't know, like 8 tiles wide. So in my case, that is not the case, and I just ruined all of my rocks. That's great. Okay, fix it. Using move it, of course. So this is like this. So yeah, that's pretty much what things look like. Now the concrete dock is somewhere back here or under here. And I don't really mind that people spawn over there. I wish that I could bring this even further back. I might be able to do that, actually. So let me see if I can select the concrete dock. And we can, hopefully, I really can't click on it because it's like under everything. So I have to use my arrow keys. Now I'm going to use page down to bring this thing down so that it flushes against the ground. You also have to keep in mind that this sort of contours the ground a little bit. When I created the asset, I used only one tile in the middle, so everything else is kind of overflowing, and hopefully you won't deform your terrain so much, unlike these breakwaters that do actually deform the terrain on the sides, even though they are also overhanging on the sides because the actual footprint of the breakwaters is like 2 or 3 tiles in the middle. I don't know if that makes any sense, but I'm just going to leave this here in case you're trying to do something like that. The point is, this concrete dock that I have here hidden, I'm still working on it. I'm going to try to tweak things. In fact, I do have a version that allows cargo to spawn. And it's literally the same model and the same configuration, but this one used to work and now it doesn't work anymore. So if I plop this here, well, nothing happened. I mean, obviously we'll generate, garbage and I will use power and water and everything else, and everything is connected. But no cargo ships will spawn on this. So I need to go back and check what the hell is going on with that. Hopefully I can figure it out, and if not, I'll try to ask for some help on forums. There's actually a thread going on Simtropolis about trying to get these spawn points, can't say that word, closer to the shoreline. But yeah. All right, next up, we're just gonna need to do some work because, otherwise I'll feel lazy. So I'm going to bring this into nighttime, and as you can see, things are pretty dark in here, and we need to add some lights. So let's actually jump into the lights menu, and let me see what I can do. So I think I want to have a row of lights that sort of light up this area. Not so much this one, because I don't, cargo maybe doesn't, it's not expected at nighttime, and this airport lights should be enough. But I do want to add a few, maybe actually matching these expansion joints from the original design. So maybe something like this, and maybe every other expansion line actually matching these life. What is actually the name of that? Life buoy or something like that? Yeah, there we go. Oh, close enough. Let's keep this ones as they are, because they are pretty much spaced out basically perfectly. And let's try something else right here in the back. So let's go for the cooler lights. Actually, let's go for the warmer lights. Why not? No, never mind. Let's go for the cooler lights. I do like these ones better for this area. We are going to use warmer lights. Don't worry about it. Oh, we have a ship. I'm going to use this light to brighten it up. Maybe we should actually... Okay, so one thing that I don't know if I mentioned during the time lapse, but is this cargo passenger won't be here. This is just temporary because we can't get cargo to work properly. So eventually we're going to move this away from here. That's why I don't want to over decorate this segment because it's not going to... It may have a boat just parked there constantly, but not necessarily boats coming in and out. So I want to maybe add one of these lights here. It's actually set it to daytime because I want to know what the cable will be if I bring this here. So we can have that light hanging between the two buildings. Oh my god, that is so good. All right. Let's see if I can squeeze it in. Nice. That's very cool. All right. I love that. Let's go back into nighttime. So now this whole place is starting to, you know, come alive a little bit more. And to be honest, I mean, that is it. I think we need another light somewhere around here for security reasons. In fact, I used to have some security cameras that I accidentally removed while I was reworking some of these areas, but I might as well just put them back again. All right, let's grab the security cameras now. Security, there we go. These are pointing all over the place, and I think these actually serve as like a police station. Not really, because they don't have any patrol cars, but it's in the type, you know, the type of asset is that, I guess is what I'm trying to say. So let's see if we can get a nice angle for this. I think this would be a good angle. Let's just put it right here in the corner, and let's grab another one that sort of mimics the same design. In fact, we could just have it right there in the corner. It's just, you know, a tiny little detail, but that looks pretty good to me. If I put two there, I don't know. Actually, this is what I'm looking for. So we're gonna have one in the corner and another one on the other corner. There we go. Look at that harbor. It's all lit up, and it looks freaking ill. You know what? I changed my mind. These dark spots, I'm not a huge fan, so I'm gonna try to offset them a little bit using warm lights, but instead of putting them over here, I'm gonna put them on this side. That way this parking lot is lit up at night. So I just wanna see, this will come in here. So right about there on the middle of the grass, and let's try to replicate the same design over here. So right about there. And that looks a million times better, and I love it. All right, let's move on. At this point, I'm sure many of you already have seen some of the new decals that Onyx being putting out, but I specifically want to bring your attention to the mud decals, which are insane, and they totally fit our dirt roads around Seenu. So let me just show you real quick what it looks like, because I mean, the texture is such a perfect fit that it's almost as if it was meant to be on this project, even though I didn't specifically ask him for him to do any of this. But man, it looks so good, and I just want to like plop a few down, maybe rotate them so that they look a little bit more random. And something like that, I think it works rather nice. I can try to not overdo it, but let me just show you what this looks like. I mean, this is crazy. I don't know if you can actually see the detail in the little, you know, muddy waters, but they totally bring this dirt road to life. It looks so much nicer this way. In fact, I can even go with a surface painter. And I specifically designed these dirt roads with this, you know, sort of technique in mind. So the ruin texture kind of blends in with the gravel texture. So I can simply, like, you know, ruin it a little bit like that, and it totally makes the place look a million times nicer. So we can do a few things like so, and just add a few more details around this area. Always trying to not overdo it, but something like that would work just fine. Man, those decals really bring this road to life. I mean, look at that. It's just crazy. The level of detail that you can achieve with just a simple decal. Let me see if I can show you other angles here so you can, properly see in detail how everything looks. It's so much nicer, especially when you look at it from this angle and you can see the clouds kind of being reflected on those poles. But it really makes this whole area a million times better. And, that's kind of what I was aiming for. But unfortunately, I'm running out of time for this episode. If you enjoyed as much as I did, please consider clicking the like button. And if you're new to my channel, there's a big red button next to a bell icon that you can both click in order to be notified immediately after one of my videos comes out. In the description, you're going to find a whole bunch of links for you to be able to create your own version of Seenu, from, the map to the map theme and the collection of assets that I use. And finally, if you are not doing this yet, you should probably follow me on Twitter, twitter.com/strictoaster. That's where I post most of my channel updates. That's the place where I'm most active. So if you have questions, that might be the fastest way for you to get an answer. But that's it. That's really all that I have to say for now. I want to thank you all for watching and hope to see you in the next one.